The first hunting trip into a region is particularly special today. We went to the Tola region of Russia to start my first hunting trip in my life. The scenery along the highway is breathtakingly beautiful. Tall and straight birch trees, quietly standing on both sides of the road. The thick snow covered the branches and the ground, creating a beautiful winter landscape. On the way, we occasionally passed by Russian traditional villages, as if we stepped into fantastic fairy tale world. Time flies. In the afternoon, we arrived at the hunting base. At the base, we didn't head to the hunting ground immediately, but took a short break to adjust our stake. We drank hot tea and organized our hunting gear to ensure everything was in order. After resting for half an hour, we took the base's off-road vehicle to the hunting cabin in the private hunting area. The off-road vehicle was driving smoothly. We arrived at the hunting cabin. We first surveyed the surrounding environment. It was very quiet, surrounded by dense forests. The whole journey was full of thrills, an exciting sense of adventure. It's a perfect place to wait for prey to appear. Before waiting, we remembered an important rule. This season, only male deer or boars are allowed to hunt. Female animals are strictly prohibited to protect ecological balance. Once entering the cabin, we began to prepare carefully. First, we repeatedly set up and adjusted the telescope to ensure we can clearly observe the movement and distance. Second, turn on the night vision goggles, check the power and signal, and connect iPad to observe prey at night and record the hunting process. Third, the most important thing is to adjust the shotgun. This is a well-known German Blazer, old action rifle. The carbon fiber body is light but incredibly strong. With a bright black barrel, it has a strong sense of technology and power. It makes people feel confident when holding it. The rifle scope is a well-known Russian brand Kraken. It has strong night vision performance, suitable for hunting at dusk and night. It can clearly lock the prey in low light, ensuring the success rate of hunting. Everything is ready. We sat quietly in the hut, staring at the feeding point not far away, waiting patiently for the prey. We kept quiet all the time, for fear of disturbing them. Unexpectedly, in less than half an hour, a docile and lovely female deer walked slowly to the feeding point, drinking and eating quietly. After eating, it looked around vigilantly and slowly walked into the depths of the forest. We watched it leave. Female deer are prohibited from hunting this season. Not long after, a male deer appeared near the feeding point. It was strong, with thick and sharp edges. This is exactly our target. We didn't hesitate. I quickly loaded the bullet. I held the rifle steadily. I aimed carefully at the chest of the deer. I took a deep breath. To calm my mind, I gently pulled the trigger. Bang! The bullet hit precisely. The boar was startled and jumped up, screaming and running towards the forest. It fell to the ground with a thud after a few steps. It struggled a few times and then stopped moving. After confirming that it was completely motionless, we went forward and carried it back to the hut together. We got our first prey. Everyone was excited. Then we continued to wait in the cabin. We knew that wild boars are nocturnal animals and come out to forage at night, so we turned off the lights in the cabin and turned on night vision goggles. We focused on the feeding point, waiting for the wild boars to appear. As night fell, the forest was shrouded in darkness. As expected, a large group of wild boars appeared near the feeding point. There were 5 or 6 of them. Each one was fat and strong. I quickly raised my gun and loaded it, aiming at the largest male wild boar. After confirming the aim, I pulled the trigger decisively. Another gunshot, and the bullet hit directly. The wild boar screamed and fell to the ground, and twitched a few times before it died. The other wild boars were frightened by the gunshots, and fled in panic, and fled into the deep forest. We didn't chase them. We continued to wait, and expected more harvests. Less than half an hour later, we heard movement on the other side. Through night vision goggles, we saw another group of wild boars coming. They were grunting and digging in the snow, while being vigilant to their surroundings. I held the gun steadily, aiming at one of the boars. Calibrate the aiming point. I took a deep breath. I pulled the trigger. The bullet hit precisely. The wild boar let out a shrill scream, and writhed in the snow, and kept twitching, and soon stopped breathing. The other wild boars fled in panic, and disappeared in the dense forest in an instant. It was late at night, and the forest was completely dark. The forest is dangerous at night. We don't stay any longer. We turned on the walkie-talkie, calling the forest ranger at the base to pick us up. The hunt is over, and need to return to the base. We got into the off-road vehicle. The headlights cut through the night, illuminating the way. We sped on the narrow and dark mountain road. The whole day's hunting made us both excited and tired. Sitting in the car, we talked about the wonderful moments during the hunt. After a short drive, we safely returned to the base. Surprisingly, Mr. Wen had already prepared a sumptuous dinner, delicious roast steak, and precious Mutai wine.